The facilitator of a meeting is the person that runs the meeting. It is the role of the facilitator to begin all meetings on time. It is important not to set a precedent of waiting for late participants. If all participants know that the facilitator is going to start the meeting right on time, there is a greater likelihood that everyone will make the effort to be punctual. All meetings should have a defined start time, but not all meetings will have a defined end time. When there is a defined finish time, it is the responsibility of the facilitator to ensure that the meeting ends on time. Participants have other professional and personal commitments to attend to. Relevant resources should be prepared on time, and if necessary should be distributed prior to the meeting so that participants can review required material in preparation. What occurs in the meeting should be relevant to the meeting purpose. Most groups will have at least one person who tends to go off on a tangent or tell irrelevant stories. The facilitator should gently guide the meeting back to the agenda. The facilitator needs to manage participants in general. This can include ensuring that all participants are comfortable and given an opportunity to speak, and also encourage all to contribute. The outcome of a meeting should have clear decisions and action items understood and documented. Follow-up action should be allocated to specific individuals and should be allocated a deadline for completion. Effective meetings can be run by the facilitator on the 15-70-15 basis. 15% of the meeting is spent on introducing or describing items for discussion. 70% of the meeting is spent discussing the items. 15% of the meeting is spent creating action items for improvement. Participants also have responsibilities. They need to attend the meeting at the start time and commit to staying for the duration of the meeting if at all possible. It is disruptive to the flow of a meeting when there are late arrivals and early leavers. Everyone at the meeting should be constructive and not destructive. Meetings are about improvement and achievement of organisational goals. Contributions to discussion need to also be relevant so as not to waste time and make the most of the opportunity to work collaboratively. The behaviour of all participants should match the meeting type and purpose. For example, casual banter and jokes could be appropriate in one meeting, but not another. Venue and physical arrangements should be organised well in advance of the meeting. Bookings should be confirmed well ahead of time. When selecting a venue for meetings, considerations include the number of people participating, the required layout, required facilities, and the location of participants. If, for example, participants are flying in from different locations for a meeting, a venue nearby the airport could be appropriate. The meeting mode should be chosen based on what is most suited to the meeting purpose and other needs, such as participant location and availability. With the advent of new technologies, the opportunity for collaboration has increased, with distance no longer being much of a barrier. In addition to face-to-face meetings, commonly used modes are teleconference, video conference, online meetings, and webinars. Depending on the content of a meeting, a venue layout will need to be chosen. Theatre style, for example, is suited to large groups that are being presented information. Classroom is suited to a meeting where something is being delivered in lesson style. U-shape is suited to forum style discussions. Conference is suited to something like a team meeting. Whereas banquet style or banquet rounds are more suited to meetings where there is small group work, such as a workshop. Equipment will need to be arranged for the meeting. Larger venues will require mics and speakers. Formal events could call for decorative pieces such as flowers. A projector or similar will be required if information is being shown on a screen. If there is a keynote address, a lectern would be appropriate. Where technology is going to be used, it is important to ensure that the correct cords and connections are supplied, and the compatibility of the technology being used should be tested beforehand. Long meetings that run over a break time need to be organised with consideration given to catering. Will meals be catered for? Will refreshments be provided during tea breaks? If food is provided, are there any special dietary requirements to be catered for? The organisation of a suitable venue, venue layout, equipment, material, and catering are integral to setting the scene for an effective meeting.